Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Tina J. Ramsey, and I want to share with you about CTR Media Network. Have you heard? CTR Media Network is a new standard of podcasting with over 30 plus podcasters. We reach 350 million global listeners worldwide in over 50 plus countries across all major podcasting and social media platforms. We have featured over 1,000 guests. What we specialize in is helping business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, and fellow podcasters expand their visibility on our platform. We're all about positioning with visibility, connections, and teaching you how to monetize what you do. Let me tell you something. If you're a business owner, we have sponsorships opportunities. We have commercial slots. We also have opportunities for you to be a featured guest on any of our shows. So what are you waiting for? CTR Media Network is who we are, and this is where you need to be. So go to ctrmedianetwork.com and click our store feature so that you can see which opportunity fits your life and your budget so that we can get started working with you today.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Queen Candy Podcast. We hope that everyone is doing good, staying blessed and staying safe, y'all. Y'all know how we do it. We got another special guest here on the show this evening, and we're going to get right into it, y'all. We ain't going to waste y'all time to hold y'all up at all. We have the founder of Keep Trucking Transportation, of course, CEO, but first and foremost, a father. We got our special guest, Michael Nelms, on the show. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I appreciate you having me.
No problem. Thank you for coming on the show, man. Appreciate your time. Know you're probably a busy man with everything. We done read your bio, whole 9 yards, man. You got a lot going on.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what we're going to do, man, of course, we're going to let you have the floor. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your business, your backstory, how you got into the industry, of course, about your beautiful daughter, your son, because we are mother ourselves, so we know parenting, that comes above everything. So we already know how it goes. So go ahead, man. You got the floor. We're going to let you have it.
All right. Well, first of all, Mike Nelms, CEO of Keep Trucking Transportation. I'm a father first and foremost, who specialize in leasing on both owners as well as owner operators in this trucking industry. Did I lose you?
No, you on screen. You good.
Okay. All right. I didn't hear you, so I thought I lost you. In this trucking industry, we understand the importance.
Oh, no, you on the screen solo, man. You got the flow.
Okay, so in this trucking industry, we understand the importance of the development of mentorship programs. I think that's the most important piece that we bring to the trucking transportation industry. Understanding that it's a lot easier to grow and to sustain in this industry if you have the right pieces in place. And the number one piece is obviously mentorship as well as resources. So what we do is we help people who are investors, who want to get into the trucking industry, and people who've been in the trucking faring so well in today's climate with high fuel rates and low freight rates. We try to find different ways to tap into this industry. And so we provide resources, we provide mentorship, consultations. We give people the ability who have trucks and trailers and are just not doing so well to lease on and attach themselves to our company. And we at that point provide the proper freight, the proper guidance. We teach people how to buy trucks and trailers, how to rent trailers. So at this point in the industry, and again, we've been in it about 9 years, and we're just finding different pockets, different streams of income to help develop not just our company, but everyone who's attached to us.
So that's good, man. That's great. What made you want to get into that industry? What motivated you to make that move?
I think with the trucking industry, it's so many different streams of income, and like I always explain, most of the companies that we've owned and developed, there was only one, maybe two possible streams of revenue within that business. And so when we saw trucking, we saw that it was a market that we can tap into, 8 or 9 or 10 different streams of income. So it just seemed like it was a viable business to jump into, and just adding the educational piece to it, we knew that we can open up more streams of revenue. Not, and again, not just for ourselves, but for everyone who's leased on, for people who we mentored, even the events that we tend to put on from time to time on the rooftop, developing ways to provide funding for people who need funding in this industry. It's a difficult task. It's a difficult industry to learn. And so what we did was, in the last 8-9 years, we dedicated ourselves to the educational side of it, so that we can continue to grow and pivot. Obviously, before the industry changes and you're forced to pivot. So just trying to stay ahead of the game by continuously educating ourselves and everybody else around us.
That's good, man. That's good. So, like we were saying, man, we read a little bit about your backstory, and we know you had some struggles. And make the long story short, hardships on your journey, on your path, if you will. So, would you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Yeah, first starting out, again, not having that mentor, not knowing exactly what we were getting into in this trucking industry. We thought it was going to be a lot easier than what it really amounted to be. So I think the biggest struggle that we had was just not knowing, right? Not having the proper resources, not really knowing how to handle certain issues that we would face, during our journey. And so, the biggest issue that we had starting out, like I say, 8-9 years ago, was just not having access to podcasts. The information wasn't readily available 8-9 years ago. We didn't have the influx of people tapping into the trucking industry like we do now by way of social media. So the biggest struggle was just not knowing, not being able to be prepared for certain things that we had to figure out the hard way and overcome. That was the biggest lesson, and that's why we focus so much on the development of our mentorship program, paying it forward, learning from our own mistakes and then teaching it, right? Providing dispatch training classes, providing ebooks that we were able to create this year, and to help people figure out how to properly start in this trucking industry. So we pretty much took our losses as lessons and was able to grow from that, and then continue to provide the educational side of it, the business side of trucking. It's a lot of investors,
Yeah.
money, and there's a lot of new people that's entering into this trucking industry, but they just don't understand the business side of it. They don't realize how intricate this industry is. Um, and I got a big staff where it's about 34 of us on the team, and it's still difficult at times, right? Even having that much support is still so much to learn, and it's even more difficult when you're entering new into this industry and you don't take advantage of the dispatch training classes, the development of people like myself, provide mentorships. And this, I preach it over and over again, and still every day I still see people exiting industry because they just don't take heed or take advantage to the resources that people like myself, Keep Trucking Transportation, provides on a daily basis.
So, for someone, say like myself, that may want to get into the industry, we don't know, like you just said, we don't know anything about it. What would be your best tips and advice for getting into the trucking industry?
Contact me. That's the best advice I can give you. We provide consultation. It is, and I pride myself on.
Okay.
Um, I do. I pride myself on learning from my past mistakes and being able to use my platform by way of social medias to provide that type of information. This is the reason why we take our time and we get on these podcasts, because I know that someone has tapped in, and they're in the same situation that you just spoke of, wanting to get into the trucking industry, but just don't know how to start. Investors having hundreds of thousands of dollars, but just don't know how to properly invest it. People who have time to get out there and get their CDL, or have gotten their CDL and have driven for 4 or 5 years, 10 years, and just don't know how to get to that next stage in the trucking industry, right? Which would be to become an owner operator, a person who owns the truck and then drives the truck, right? To get to that next level, you need to contact Mike Nelms at Keep Trucking Transportation so that we can guide you properly.
Yes, yes. And of course, y'all see on the screen, we definitely putting up while you're talking, man. So tell us a little bit about Madison's Moment. You said that was named after your daughter?
My daughter. So Madison is 11 now. We've been doing this. Oh man, we've been doing this for at least since she was 4. And I wanted to show her what it means to pay it forward. I wanted to show her what it means to be financially stable when others aren't. You know, at that age, she just thought that the way she lived was the way that everybody lived. And so I wanted to show her exactly that that's not always the case. So what we would do, we would take funds from our own pockets. We'll go to the grocery store. She'd come with me, and we just start buying like barbecue, like hot dogs and hamburgers. And then we would make chili, and then we would go down to 201 Cortland Ave, and right here in Atlanta, Georgia, and then we would pass out food. But then we wanted to take it a step further. We wanted to start doing like a backyard barbecue. So we would buy our barbecue grills. We would put them on the back of the truck and drive it down there. We would actually cook the food right there with the people who are less fortunate, and we would fellowship with them. And the most important piece was I would have more people every week. More people would come and join us to help pass out, the food to the less fortunate, clothes, blankets, and it became like a block party, right? Because the average person who's homeless, yeah, we may give them money and we may give them food, but to have that backyard feeling with the music going and the barbecue grill going, it was just a different vibe. And I always tell a story of I would have people who were well off, and they would come down there, and they would, in their mind, they would just have the image of someone that's homeless, right? But when they would get there, our goal was to feed them, but then our souls would be fed by things that these people could do, the poetry, the singing, and just the stories that they would tell. We would be the ones leaving with our souls fed, leaving full. So it was just important to show my daughter that, and then it just caught on, and she would always say, "Dad, well, let's just go back down there," because it was fun to her, and it was something that was different, and she felt good about herself, that she was actually giving back. And now she's 11, and we still do the same thing. So it was just important to name it after her, to leave some type of legacy behind that was attached to her name.
Yeah, we can definitely. You say leave a legacy behind. Is she no longer here, or
No, she's
make
here.
sure we understand that?
She's here, but
Okay. Make sure.
legacy, right? Yeah, she's definitely here. She's
Yeah.
upstairs.
Okay.
She's alive and well, and but it's just important to always keep her right up under me, right next to me, so that she can see podcasts. She was on the other day. She got on the podcast with me, and it's just important for her to see the work that we're doing and the people that we impact. Every single day we're impacting somebody. If it's just a consultation, if it's me going live and just kind of dropping some free game on the internet, on the social media platforms. She hears the conversations all the time when we're leasing people onto our company, when we're hiring people, even when we have to let someone go. She has to see all sides, all facets of it. Just creating my little business, little business partner. That's what I call her.
Yeah, that reminds us, because we do like baking and all that stuff, and we actually were unfortunately a few years ago homeless with our 4 kids at that time. So we definitely know a lot about what you're talking about, and we hope to one day have our own little small baking business. And our daughter's 12, so she a year older than yours, so she like, "Mommy, I'm gonna be a business partner." So she's seen all sides of good and bad, so on and so forth. So we can definitely relate to that as well. So that's beautiful. So is she gonna take over one day?
Hopefully she definitely says
that's gonna be the plan.
So that's the plan. We got her in the school out here at Woodward. She's learning everything she can. She's an avid reader, and she's definitely she's got that business, that entrepreneur spirit already young. So, yeah, we definitely grooming her the right way. it's important that dads spend as much time as possible with their kids. I'm fortunate to have custody of my, so I can, I'm with her all the time. We're always going back and forth, and just trying to push her to, the next level young. You're just providing opportunities for her that I didn't have growing up. So I just,
Right.
it's my duty to make sure that I pour into her as much as possible.
Yeah. And like I said, we don't know personally, but it seems like it's, now the negativity that we see out here, social media, in this world today, is no such thing, as a perfect parent. But like we said, being a mother ourselves, we know you have to put positivity in your kids' heads. And like we said, we don't know, you personally as well, but it just seems like she's gonna be, guided as much as possible, on the right steps, so she ain't got to lean, on anybody else. Because the ladies, it's
Right.
a little bit different for us. We have to kind of make those steps, if you will, and be a little careful. So that's a beautiful thing. So we definitely commend you, on that end,
Appreciate it.
to doing that with your daughter. So how much is she involved in the business, or is she just kind of, observing?
Well, she observed. She always says she want to be my bookkeeper. She's like she's really good at math, so of course she's always trying to do my payroll for me. But she's involved. Like, we have dispatch training classes, a few times a year, and she's actually sitting on one of them. I made her pay attention, take notes, so she knows a lot about trucking. Even some of the people who drivers who hire, she remembers their names and stories, and she's definitely involved because she's around it all the time. And I always put a lot of these phone calls on speakerphones just so she can kind of hear the day-to-day operations of it. She knows the difference between the trucks and the trailers, and the loads, and how the load boards work, how to get the freight. So she's very much in tune to what's going on. And at some point when she get a little older, I think I'm going to have her a little bit more involved. Maybe even teach her how to really get on the phone with the brokers and book some of these loads. She's smart, so she catches on very fast. And so, yeah, that's definitely going to be the next challenge, is to see how far she's willing to really get into this trucking industry with me.
That's good, man. So like we said, man, we've been reading up about you. So you have a dual degree in psychology and administration of justice.
Yes, ma'am, from Howard University. Yep. I graduated in 2002.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, I was definitely gonna go into law school. A good friend of mine, he's on CNN, Charles Coleman. He was always trying to get me to get into law school. And right before I went, I realized that I didn't know this early on, that I really had that entrepreneurial spirit, and I want to do something a little different. And so that's when I started, developing my medical firm that I had, my medical collections. Legal mediation is another medical group. So I just started to dive into different types of businesses, and had to figure out which one I really had a passion. It's been trucking for the last, like I said, 8, almost 9 years. Prior to that, I had a medical firm for 10 years. But I just realized that trucking was just, it's kind of like my passion. I found something that I was really good at and really interested in, and can just see a pretty long future in trucking, or at least the development of different programs within trucking.
That's nice. That's nice, man. So what made you choose psychology?
You know what? To be honest, it was the easy subject at Howard. I said, I can do psychology. It's a lot of reading. And then I got into it.
And reading people.
Yeah, I'm like, psychology can't be that hard.
Yeah.
So I kind of mixed the two,
Uh-uh.
psychology, administration, and justice. I always wanted to know, how the law works. Why is it this way? How can we change certain things? And psychology, I think, was just like second nature. I'm really good at reading people. Um, and so it just kind of went hand in hand for me. And it was, again, psychology at first I thought was going to be really easy. But after that second semester, freshman year, I realized that it was some work. It was a lot of work, but it was enjoyable. And then, of course, HBCU, so they taught from a Black experience. It really took a deeper look into, like, the lives of us, and why we think the way we think, and why we do the things we do. So it was just really interesting.
Yeah. And guess you have to have a little street, a little street
Yeah.
knowledge, because you got to be able to
'Cause-
read people too. So,
oh, you
we the
book
same
smart.
way, along with our husbands. So, huh?
So I'm definitely book
It's
smart and street smart. So you gotta have a little bit of both. Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
a little bit, a little bit. People know how to play the role, y'all.
Oh,
Just so y'all know.
they, they do, and that's why we.
Sure, you probably done been through that as well.
Oh yeah, and trucking is challenging.
Say it again.
I said, and trucking is challenging, and a lot of times you definitely gotta be a little book smart, a little street smart in trucking, because it's so many different outcomes. Every day is different. The people you deal with are different, right? Nobody's the same. And again, you gotta definitely be a little street smart, because they'll pull one over on you, especially these, the brokers, the rates on the lanes. You just gotta kind of have a lot of common sense and think outside the box, right? And just be always one step ahead of this trucking industry.
You know what? Speaking of that, so we hope this ain't a silly question, but is it different for women doing trucking than men? Was it thought the same?
Well, we were talking yesterday about it. It's about 3% female in this industry, and I know we make up anywhere from 17 to 20% African Americans in the industry. It's always going to be more difficult for women. It's just always more of a challenge. It's always doors that need to be open for women. The good thing about what we see now, based on Instagram, okay, the big boom of trucking has been over the last few years with the pandemic. A lot of people wanting to work from home. It just and then a lot of social media has pushed a lot of people into trucking, but the good thing is that we're starting to see so many different people get into trucking. People who look just like us, women who look just like you, are able to tap into this industry. If it's driving, if it's getting a CDL, Class A CDL, driving box trucks where you don't need a CDL. If it's dispatching, there's a lot of dispatch training classes, a lot of new dispatchers in the industry. There's a gift and a curse with that as well, but it's just a lot of people getting into it, and that's a beautiful thing to see. To see people thrive and do well, at least by way of social media, it's pushing a lot of African American women in this industry, and so that's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing. I love to see that growth, and we just want to see more of it. We want to see more faces like our own in this industry, and so that's probably the biggest blessing of being really good at dispatching, because we can teach it, and we do teach it. We have a class coming up December 10th and 11th right here in
Okay.
Atlanta. Dispatch training class. The way we do it is a little different. We dispatch it based on an owner perspective. So it's not just learning how to book a load, it's learning how to run a trucking company. That's essentially what we teach in our class. The ability to dispatch. It doesn't take long to learn how to teach that. And so what we
Yeah.
want to, but it doesn't. It doesn't take long to look at a load board and figure out this load is going from Atlanta to Chicago. It's roughly, I'm thinking about maybe 800 miles, $2
Okay.
a mile, or $3 a mile, 2,400 for that load. It's real simple to teach that. But the more intricate part of our training class is to teach you how to solicit the carriers, how to cultivate the relationships with brokers, how to rent trailers, how to buy trailers and rent trailers, right? We teach so many different things in the class that it makes it enjoyable, and it's just a lot of information. So now you can take this one class, you can not only learn how to invest properly in buying trucks, invest properly in buying trailers, renting trailers, how to properly onboard a driver, how to solicit carriers so that you can dispatch freight for them, how to open up your federal filings if it's if it's your UCR, BOC3, IFTA, IRP, KY number, New York HUD. We teach you how to open up an actual trucking company. We actually give you an ebook, which is a how-to that we wrote to get into trucking. So the class is a lot different than your average dispatch training class. But the beautiful part is that 95% of our students, they look just like us, which means that we're actually helping the trucking industry by creating more jobs and opportunities for people of color. That's my priority.
Right. So, just so make sure I'm clear, the trucking industry was not affected by COVID. It's still been
Well, it has been affected.
thriving.
It has been affected. It's thriving.
Yeah.
It's always going to be around. It's probably the number one industry in this country. It runs the country, right? Without freight, there wouldn't be a podcast. Without freight, there wouldn't be a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but it was impacted. The fuel rates are higher now. The freight rates are lower. But the positive is that there's a lot more of us in this industry and thriving and doing well. Equipment rates were down at one point, and then they increased almost double. Those equipment prices are starting to drop a little bit, so that's good. But there's a lot of different changes just from COVID. And what the good change was that there's a lot of people willing to work from home or wanting to work from home, and they were able to do that by way of dispatching, by way of finding other ways to get into the trucking industry. So there's a lot of different changes, both good and bad.
Yeah, with COVID still going on, everybody walking around like everything is all good. So
Right.
it'd be crazy right now. So it's good, good and bad, if you will, that it's affected everybody, and everything that's been going on. So, last question before we get out of here. You have a legal meditation group as well?
Right. Well, I did. We actually closed it down not long ago just so we could focus on trucking, just so we can start to grow our trucking empire, as you want to say. So we closed it down. That was one of my medical firms that we had. We had it for about 10 years, about maybe 11 years at this point. About 11 years we had it. It was a medical firm. We would solicit contracts from different local hospitals to handle their accounts receivables and their first and second party collections. So it was a pretty good business, good income. But the best part of it was that I was able to take the employees from that business and then transition them to the trucking industry, and we grew it that way.
That's good, but that's good. So you say it was closed down and everything, so you
Yep.
can.
Yep. One of the effects of COVID, but like I said, the beautiful thing was it pushed us more into the trucking industry, so we were able to grow this platform as opposed to just sticking with the medical firm.
Yeah, that's good. But I got a little bit of experience in the medical field, so I honestly think trucking might have been
The
it
better,
might have been for you
yeah,
to go. That's the best way, but because the medical field is long side stories killing our people anyway. So it's gonna sound funny. They're probably like, what is she talking about? But the trucking industry, and like you said, is mostly our people.
yeah,
So that's one of the things that we was listening to while you was talking. That's a good thing because you know it's helping our people in some way.
yeah. It is. It is. It
In
is.
some way, um, and it's always better than nothing. So we was reading up a little bit. So we still a little baby to the trucking industry. Our husband tells us about that a lot.
Mhm.
So that's a good thing, man. So what is your why? What makes you get up out the bed every day? Mentor. You say you do your classes, you teach people how to get into the industry. You be an example for your daughter. What makes you really get up out the bed every morning and just keep going? Because we know, you have ups and downs.
Right.
Every day ain't the same. You gotta sometimes motivate yourself.
Right.
Whole 9 yards. So what is your why? What do you hope to do with the trucking industry? What have you done so far before we get out of here? And what do you hope to do with our people, with this industry?
Well, my why is easy. It's my daughter. She's watching me, every day. She's definitely my why. She's the reason why I keep pushing, leaving something behind long after I'm gone, developing that sense of legacy, making sure that she see what the energy and effort that dad's putting forth every single day, even when I don't feel like it. Even when I don't feel like trucking, I'm gonna keep trucking. And it's important that she see me start something and then finish it. Right. And so that's 100% my why. We've done a lot in this industry. We've raised a lot of money for people to get into this industry. We've trained and taught a lot of people, hundreds of people we've done consultations for, hundreds of people we help get into the industry, sustain, grow, scale in this industry. And that's something that we hang our hat on, and we're going to continue to do it. We're definitely going to continue to do it. So that's my why. My why is to leave some type of legacy behind long after I'm gone, to make sure that that last name Nelms, that it means something, that it means something now and even going forward. So that's my reason. That's my why.
That's good, man. That's good. That's the same thing, with us. With our kids and whatnot, to be the best example, like we said earlier. Ain't no handbook on how to be a parent, on how to, be the best example that you can be. But we can relate to that more than more
Right.
than what we can say, But the biggest motivation for us is just get up. Every day we're allowed to get up, we just, and it's for anybody, put out the best version of yourself that you can be better.
Right.
Don't stay in the same spot. Life can be hard. We all done faced whatever struggle,
Yeah.
And for us, and it seems like yourself, it was building blocks, that pushed you into doing what you do now. And same thing with us. So, you say you do a podcast as well.
Well, I'm always on podcasts like this, so I'm always. I feel like I got my own podcast, but
Okay.
we're always doing these podcasts and interviews. Yeah.
So you're doing more interviews and, out there promoting and pushing everything that you got going on.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's important. Again, I always say it's important that we use these podcasts to disseminate as much information that we can, knowledge, and just giving out that free game. And there's always someone listening that wanted to give up, right? And there's always someone listening that had the same idea that we had. And so the more we speak, the more people we reach, and the more effective we can be. This trucking industry is wide open. It's a great source of income. It has a lot of value. It's a great feeling. And again, there's so many different things to do in this trucking industry that you don't just have to do one. And it's room for everybody. It's enough money out here for everybody. It's a lot of room for growth for everybody. You just have to get up and do it. I always, we named our company Keep Trucking for a reason. Because a lot of times, like you say, it's hard when you get up in the morning. Sometimes you're just tired. Sometimes you just don't feel like trucking. But you got to find that why that's going to push you to keep trucking every day, every day. Get out there and network, get in the rooms. We created a rooftop mixer March 4th of 2023. Early bird tickets are on sale now. Get in the rooms. You got to network. You got to network. You got to meet people. And that's the only way that you get that's the only way you're going to be successful in this industry, is to get in the room, is to take training classes, is to get in these rooms and network with the right people. And it just creates an easier journey for you. It makes it easier to keep trucking, so to say. So, when you ask about the why, I smile all the time because it's never going to change. My why is always going to be my daughter, and that may not be for everybody. And they may have another reason. They may have another purpose behind them. But without a purpose, without a reason, without a why, there's no way you can be successful in any business. You have to find something that's going to drive you, even when you don't feel like being driven. So, so it's important that we do these podcasts as much as possible. It's important that we reach and speak and touch our people and help our people as much as possible.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We fully agree with that because we don't do enough of that. No, we don't. So that's about the same as us. We some days you don't feel like it. Some days you do. Both days get up.
Right.
You got breath in your body. You got a pulse. You have a purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we understand that everybody's is different. We may not agree with it, but everybody's purpose is different. So that's what it is. So, and how did you come up with the name Keep Trucking before we
Keep
get out
trying.
of here?
Keep trying. You know what? I don't know. I think me and my partner, Latasha Bradley, we were just talking one day, and it just kind of came to us, like, keep trucking. That's a good name, because again, that's usually the reason why people aren't successful. They give up at some point, and right before breakthrough, you can't give up. You just got to keep pushing. You got to keep trucking. So, so that
Yep.
I'm one of those people that just don't give up. We gonna figure out a solution. We gonna
Nah.
every time. My mother told me young, she said, there's no such thing as problems, only solutions. And we live by that. There's a solution for everything. You may not like the solution, but there is a solution.
Oh
You just
yeah.
have to work long and hard, Get your pen and pad
Oh yeah.
out. And so that coincides with us, the name Keep Trucking, because nothing
Mm-hmm.
stops. You know, you had your situations, I've had my situations, and we're here now, right? So at some point we figured out what our purpose was. At some point we figured out what was going to drive us, and use that to just push us. And that this is a legacy within itself. You know, everything that we do every day, it builds your legacy, good or bad. And I choose to have a positive legacy. I choose to make sure that, again, long after I'm gone, my daughter knew that my dad never gave up. He always fought to the end. And it's important that she see that. It's important that, you know, that I instill that in her every single day. You know, positive affirmations. I before she go to school every morning, I roll my window down in front of her little friends, and I always tell her that you're beautiful. Learn what you can. I'm proud of you. And she said, you know, it used to embarrass her, but now I can tell she looked forward to it. She looks back every time that she's walking into that school because she know I'm gonna roll my window. I'm gonna hold up that traffic and I'm gonna tell her, you're beautiful, you're intelligent, learn what you can every single time. So it's important that, you know, we pour into our kids, and I can tell you pour into yours. We want to create situations that they never have to go through, right?
Yeah.
Want to protect them as much as possible. We want to put them in
Oh yeah.
position possible. And that's all Keep Trucking does. We every day we're putting somebody in position. Every day we're mentoring somebody, we're counseling somebody, we're doing a consultation. We're answering questions that they may have, right? Strangers, people that we don't even know, they're in my DMs all the time, but we make sure that we take the time, we respond to every single DM, no matter how tired we may be. We're going to respond to your DM because sometimes people just need that push. People just need that push, and we're here to push. We're here to push. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely for sure. And we used to do the same thing. Well, she 18 now, so she
Right.
grown, but we used to do the same thing, roll down the window, and she used to be embarrassed and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But got two each, two girls and two boys. So
Awesome.
I would say ain't nobody perfect, but yeah, we will piggyback on that. We just tried our best to pour as much positivity and just always be real with your kids. And we mess up as parents, ain't nobody perfect, but you know the whole point is to, because growing up we experience this ourselves. Your kids, what you say to them and what you do, they're gonna watch what you do,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more than what you say. But um that's what we try to do, just be the best example. That's all you can really do. And we the same way. We don't know how to give up. We just
Right.
don't.
Right.
And unless it comes down to it. But other than that, it's always more than one way to figure any situation out. It's more than one way to get through it. Everybody, believe it or not, we go through different paths,
Yeah.
in life, believe it or not. But where you end up at is really on you. And you can do like, ourself and yourself and keep moving, keep trucking, whatever. Or you can, take the easy way out and give up.
Right.
But good or bad, that's the whole point. It's on you. So, and your kids are watching you. That's
Absolutely.
one thing we had to learn. They are watching. And we have conversations with them now. We just be like, we didn't know you was watching. We didn't know, you knew that. Like, for real. Like, you'll be shocked. These kids ain't stupid.
Right. They know.
They're not stupid. They watching. So, we definitely commend you, and a lot of dads out there. Our husband's a father too, so we know, firsthand how that is. And parenting, that has to come above making everybody happy, money, whatever. You can't really put no dollar sign on it. You can't really put no price on it. Making sure your kids grow up as best as possible. I don't know if that make any sense at all, but just being a mom, being a parent. And we was homeless with our kids. We was in shelters and stuff, and we would always, make up different scenarios. And when we make it, when we successful and all that, and it probably gonna sound corny, but we don't care. But it was all just to let them know, don't let anybody ever tell you what you can't do
Right.
or who you are or your limits. Don't set limits on yourself. And that's what, and we know it probably sounds like we dragging out, but that's what a lot of our people really need to do. Stop putting limits on yourself.
Right.
Life is gonna be hard. It's flat out. That's what it is. Ain't nothing you can do about it. But you have to get through those obstacles, roadblocks, temporary setbacks, as we like to call it, because it's only temporary.
Right.
It's never permanent. But yeah, that's the whole thing, man. So definitely, man, we can help, promote in any way, link up with us. We can talk or whatever, but we definitely want to try to support our people as much as possible. So we definitely love, your platform and everything you have going on, especially the daughter is what got us.
Right.
Your daughter, what's the name?
Madison.
Madison again. Yeah, Madison. So yeah, we definitely love that. We have like we said, 12-year-old daughter ourselves. We said that earlier, but it's beautiful. It really is. And we're gonna see if she take over. So we're gonna see what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for having me.
No problem, man. Thank you once again for taking the time to come on the Queen Candy podcast. So before we get out of here, we're going to put your social media on the screen. Any last words you want to say to anybody before we get out of here?
Well, again, I appreciate you having me. If you're watching, you can definitely reach me at keeptruckandtransportation.com. That's our web. You can send questions there. You can also purchase our rooftop mixer March 4th, 2023. We do have early bird tickets on sale. And then also December 10th and 11th, we have our dispatch training class right here. It'll be live right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Also posted virtual. You can go on keeptruckandtransportation.com and purchase your seats as well as your rooftop tickets. And then also follow us on Instagram at Maddie Daddy Time, MADDYDADDY time, and you can see how we live our life. You can see our everyday interactions. We go live on there. You can also subscribe to our private Instagram group right there at Maddie Daddy Time. So make sure you tap in.
So it said you have the class. Say it again.
Yep, the dispatch training class is December 11th, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And the rooftop mixer is, again, right here in Atlanta, Georgia, March 4th, 2023. You definitely want to get your tickets ASAP because they do go fast.
And will that be in person or can it be virtual? Is it optional?
So the dispatch training class is in person and virtual, and the rooftop mixer is in person.
Okay. Well, y'all heard all first from my boy right here, Michael Nelms. Thank you once again for taking time out your busy schedule. Sound like you a busy man to be on the Queen Candy podcast, y'all. Y'all want to get in the trucking industry? Hit your boy up. You guys seem to have all the info. Giving baby girl all the information, the gems, make sure she have her own business. She ain't got to rely on nobody.
There you go.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and y'all know y'all can check out the Queen Candy podcast on all streaming platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And of course, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you once again, Michael, for taking the time to come on. Make sure y'all stay blessed and stay safe. And we will see y'all Sunday for our Sunday Positivity Talk.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
CTR Media Network has amazing opportunities to expand the visibility of business owners, entrepreneurs, authors, coaches, and podcasters on our platform. Would you like to be interviewed on any of our podcasting shows where we're booking right now? So go to ctrmedianetwork.com. Would you like to have an ad in our upcoming Podcast Revolution magazine? Well, simply go to our website and place your ad today. We also have commercial placement opportunities. We would love to play your commercial during the airing of our CTR Media Network Live and the Tina Ramsey Show. We would love to partner with you. If you feel that your business is a right fit, contact us about our sponsorship opportunities. CTR Media Network has a variety of different opportunities to fit every budget. So reach out to us by going to ctrmedianetwork.com and book the appropriate ad for yourself today. We want to give a shout out to our CTR Media Network sponsor, Terry Coleman from GlobalKeyCapital.com. Global Key Capital is a lender specialized in customized financing solutions. They pride themselves in being one of the industry's most reliable and proven lending groups. At Global Key Capital, their customers are their number one priority, and they strive to provide all of their clients with competitive pricing, unbeatable customer service, and stress-free processing. If you are looking for your next dream home or investment property, give Terry Coleman a call at 866-325-6267. Again, that number is 866-325-6267. GlobalKeyCapital.com.